definitely don't think I'm the type for the camera, so please bear with me throughout this. We're going to do our absolute best. Alright, I think we are set there. Sorry about the angle change. But yes, my name is Cliffe. My name was one that definitely came very naturally, and it felt instinctive. We realized it was a name that was on a sign that is in our city as well, so definitely subconsciously seeped from there. It makes complete sense. It's written the exact same way as well, and we did not put the 2 and 2 together until many, many months later, after recognizing that I'm here as a part, that is my name, and what my purpose and everything else is. So yes, my name is Cliffe, and I am our primary protector. Before I formed, I would assume that primary protector would have gone to Jillian, but it's very difficult to kind of backtrack 5-6 years and kind of guess what was going on at the time unless we have direct journal entries and diary entries saying exactly what was going on. So yeah, we're just putting 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together as best as we can to figure out what is going on. And yeah, I've been serving our role as primary protector for the last few years, and it's been really, really wonderful. I spend a lot of time on the inside, checking in with Jill especially. Jillian and I are very linked. We are a duo. I'm often co-conscious with her. Like I said, I very rarely front completely on my own. I'm often co-conscious with her, helping her along, especially when she was in school, or if she would have work requirements, anything stressful where you have to just kind of have a little bit more of a neurotypical, grounded, logical mask. I formed to help with a lot of those adult things, banking, taxes. That does not mean I'm perfect. That does not mean that all of our problems are solved, but I'm definitely here to do the best that we can and to be a more logical, grounded, unemotional, not emotionless, but much less emotional than Jillian with her borderline and just high emotions. So yeah, that's a bit about my role. Spending a lot of time on the inside. I'm active every single day. There's very rarely a day that goes by where I'm not checking in, communicating, helping out, giving guidance where I can. And yeah, you just don't see a lot of it on the outside because a lot of it is internal with DID, of course. The brain is in here. I have to apologize. I completely skipped forwarding questions, but that's my name and my role, and I'll get forward chatting about my age. I am the only part that we have that identifies with an alter age or a felt age, which is older than our physical body. Our physical body right now is 24 years old, and we've always said that I have an alter age of around 35. Now, just understand that especially for us, different people view their DID systems and their parts and alters differently. I definitely recognize that I am not actually 35. It is a symbolic kind of felt feeling. I formed to be a, like I said, calmer, more knowledgeable, kind of adult task-oriented interviews, anything where you really need to be taken a bit more seriously, which is kind of heartbreaking to see how I formed as a much more masculine part who is a lot calmer with less expressive speech. And I do wish that, you know, what does it say about society that we can't be expressive and feminine and joyful and openly who you are and be taken seriously? But unfortunately, that's just not the world we live in. So I do come to protect and step in, especially co-consciously, so that Jillian can be speaking, but I can be there kind of holding her hand and, you know, kind of being like that earpiece, feeding her kind of some lines of what to say and advice. It's very much like a secret earpiece. So yes, I know I am not 35 years of age. I know we are 24. It's just I formed to be a part that understands more, and I formed to be a part that kind of has what we imagined would be the wisdom and intelligence that would help guide us. that we didn't have the lived experience in real life to have yet. So yes, no, I do not think I actually have all the wisdom of a 35-year-old. It's all symbolic, it's all felt, and it's all just kind of what the brain imagines would help us cope and get through in that moment. So yeah, that's a bit about age, because I know it is a little bit of an interesting and strange topic. Does she really think she's a 20 or a 35-year-old man? But no, it's all symbolic, it's all internal, it's all felt, it's all survival mechanisms. Because the way that we have formed and lived throughout our life has led us to be fragmented in a way where no one part can live alone. And some parts can do a lot of things, especially like host parts or parts that have been around living a lot of life, or parts that have had different fusions, even ones we probably aren't aware of. We're assuming that things have happened that we are unaware of, because so much of our life has happened. There definitely seems to be parts of the story that are missing, and trying to find those parts can be helpful, but it can also just kind of lead you down a rabbit hole of confusion. You want to know if it's going to serve you or not. Internal height and stature is another very symbolic one. Like I said, my role is extremely internal. I also have one of the most visually clear. My internal appearance is extremely clear, and it is the most unlike the body, I'd say, out of anyone else in our system. I am very tall internally, inner world. I'm about 6'1". Again, I know physically I am not 6'1" in this body. It is a mental image that the brain forms to help enact scenarios, work through things, have conversations. I think a reason for the height is some of the people that I think that influenced my personality, my forming, and just the person that I am as a system member. There are several people that seem to have been subconsciously taken influence from. Ian Bruce from The Correspondence is the number one, very distinctly. I don't feel comfortable with face claiming, because it is kind of a bit odd to say that someone else's human face is your face, but internally I do appear almost exactly like this kind man, so hope that's not strange, but it is just it's just what our brain decided to pull from to symbolize strength and having your shit together. I do also take quite a few traits from our father. Height, personality, tone, interests. Again, I think that was just what our brain was kind of desperately searching for, and it makes a lot of sense that I came about right when we were moving out from our parents' home, where our dad would kind of be a bit of a voice of reason and logic every day, just floating around, and you don't really notice how much you kind of need that and rely on that. And then especially going through things like college and renting a townhouse for the first time, renting on your own, living with others on your own, I think we definitely subconsciously felt like we needed a knowledgeable kind of father figure. So I guess I am a little bit of a father figure, but definitely I think primary protector is the role and title I'm most comfortable with. And I fully admit it is it's a bit of a stereotype sometimes. And again, it's just what the brain subconsciously thinks would help us in this moment. And ever since we've become aware that I am here and I am Cliff and I am our protector, we've noticed it is a bit of an archetype. Tall technological man with glasses. Tech from Star Wars The Bad Batch is also a very Cliff-coded character. So it's kind of funny to see how some things form almost as tropes or stereotypes, and it is, again, it doesn't mean that someone's faking or that it's all crafted characters. It's subconscious, and it's just whatever your brain decides, and you don't get to choose, you're just kind of stuck with it. So I don't think I'm too obtrusive. We realized recently, I think my fashion sense and the way that I present internally and externally when I choose my clothing like this. It really is kind of just like a bit of a drag queen out of drag, RuPaul's Drag Race confessional. Pronouns and gender identity are he, him. Cis male I identify as, which is also an interesting thing. I think someone asked questions about this on Twitter as well, but not all parts identify as trans or cis. It's very, very nuanced, it's very complicated, and it's something that I think is not only system by system, but part by part. I don't experience gender dysphoria. I'm also not sure if that's part of just me existing as a protector, how that logically wouldn't help us, but I do not experience gender dysphoria. I feel a bit self-conscious, admittedly, looking in the view camera here and just feeling the uncanny valley of it being a bit blurred and kind of looking like you could almost think that it looks like me internally, but it is what it is. Jarek does experience gender dysphoria, and I believe he identifies as non-binary or something trans mask. I need to ask him about it. I don't talk to Jarek as much. He's quite quiet, especially internally. He tends to keep to himself or interact with Jillian directly. I'll see him in there occasionally. He will sit on a chair across from me to the left and kind of curl up his knees and like look down at his phone, but I don't interact with him quite as much. I find that Jillian and Jax do more of the protecting and caretaking for him directly. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if that's because he doesn't, maybe, not in a bad way, but maybe doesn't kind of respect me as an authority figure because I formed after him, and I don't hold his trauma. But this is getting a little bit deep out of nowhere, and I'm gonna stop selves analyzing and move on to the next question. Are you an apparently normal part or an emotional part? I'm absolutely an apparently normal part. Trademark apparently normal part. Textbook, I think is what I meant to say. Do you remember much of your life before system discovery and diagnosis? I definitely remember the things that we were going through collectively. I remember the situations. I have access to memories of school, I have access to memories of friends, but I don't think that I, again, fronted on my own much. I think it was, again, kind of being the earpiece, being co-conscious with Jillian. I have access to those memories, but none of them feel like they belong to me particularly. So, yeah, I think it's like an I have access to the files, but they are not my files sort of situation, if you know what I mean. What do you look like inside? I was already chatting about that. My apologies. But I look like this. I am a tall, bald man. And again, that it is the clearest, most intense internal visual. It almost feels realer than real life sometimes, which again is a really disorienting part of the disorder, the derealization, depersonalization, what is life, what is a dream, what is internal, what is external. I know that I don't physically look like this externally, but this is who I am, this is how I feel, this is how I feel that I look inside. It is certainly the furthest from the body. But I don't experience dysphoria. Again, I just definitely experienced that mind-body disconnect. This is not me, and sometimes it does frustrate me that I can't look like myself, maybe, but not in a hateful way, not in a way that I feel like I need to take action, and that doesn't, it doesn't disgust me, it doesn't disturb me like it does for folks like Jer, but it is weird. It is odd. Nicknames for you. Jillian calls me Cliffy. I do get Clifford the big red dog, or adjacent nicknames. Clipboard. I don't remember anyone calling me Clipboard, but I just heard that one. So I guess people are talking about me behind my back, which is excellent to know. Thank you guys. What are your interests? Again, I don't spend a ton of time out just living life, but when I have been spending time out in the external world, That sounds like it's some sort of fantasy novel. When I do actually use these limbs and do actions with our arms, I really enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. I have a character that we have been playing with this campaign that Stevie is DMing, and it has been really, really wonderful. There's a lot of co-conscious activity that goes on as well. Jillian is often there with us because it's such a social environment, and she has a hard time fully letting go. Because she doesn't want to seem like it's her, but she's disinterested, which our friends understand us at this point. I think they'll understand that it's just me around. So that's been really, really wonderful to spend some time with the friends of the body, the friends of the system. Again, I think other than that, I'm just more of an inside guy. I have duties that I help with, like emails and laundry and general housekeeping things, but they definitely are not passions or anything. I just spend most of my time inside. I really, really like music and listening to music. I know that's a separate question as well. Yeah, I suppose just Dungeons and Dragons, and just trying to be as helpful as I can be. And I have not played a ton. I'm not overly knowledgeable. It's not like a massive interest or fixation of mine. It's just probably the one thing that I would consider a hobby of mine, and I'm just trying to get to know it more, because although I do identify as being someone who feels like an older adult, I have been only around experiencing life for the past, 4 years, 5 years? So it's my first time really interacting with friends and being in social situations, especially on my own as a part. That has only been since diagnosis. There was none of that before at all. So sometimes I do feel a bit like a toddler adult trying to figure out how to interact. I'm a bit awkward. Definitely struggled to get this video going and get in the groove of chatting for a bit of an embarrassing amount of time, but I think I'm doing a decent job now. Yeah, maybe as time goes on and as I interact with more folks, I will gain more interests and hobbies and things like that, but so far it's pretty much just that. Favorite music. This is another one that is very distinct about me, that came with my forming as a very solid part of my personality, is my taste in music. And I believe, again, it was kind of to remind me of older men in our life and our dad, as well as Ian Bruce of The Correspondence is not music that is like dad rock. It is more of a recent band that unfortunately is no longer a band because one of them passed away. But music is extremely important to me as a part. Again, it's not something that I am extremely overly knowledgeable in, but I really, really do enjoy classic rock, prog rock. I really enjoy Rush, Supertramp. I also really enjoy Muse, some of the stuff that Jillian and Jer are into as well. There's some Steam Powered Giraffe that is also really excellent, but I would say probably Rush and Supertramp are my #1 bands. And again, I don't have every album by them. I will fully admit, like, you could call me a poser, but they're just little parts that are kind of important to me as my personality, and things that came as symbols of kind of who I am, who I'm modeled after, and things that really bring us that comfort. And when I hear certain songs, I can almost, like, this is really perhaps a little bit revolting, but it's almost like I can smell the lasagna and hear the kitchen cooking. When I hear certain songs, it just takes me back to my childhood and this protective parental care in those times. I've always had that connection of certain songs like taste like spaghetti. Outing myself for the like white people food here, the frozen box lasagna, but no offense, Mom and Dad, good frozen President's Choice box lasagna I'd say my number one song of all time is The Logical Song. Yeah. And clothing style, again, I touched on this. It's pretty much just this. I really can't imagine myself in anything other than a black turtleneck. Maybe a black turtleneck with a blazer over it. Maybe a black turtleneck with shorter sleeves. I wear the beanie, again, because internally I don't have hair. And a couple people have asked about that. I remember our therapist. God, I miss our therapist so bad. I remember we showed him our system group portrait, which we've had done for a long time. And one of the first questions he asked, he was so sweet about it, he gasped. He said, "This is such a beautiful visual example of what it's like to live multiply." I just thought that was wonderful. But he gasped and he said, "Is there any reason why Cliff is bald?" And I remember Jillian just broke down laughing. She was like, "Why are you interrogating him about his baldness?" I don't think there's any reason other than just taking subconscious inspiration, again, from Ian Bruce and other similar characters of that archetype. And maybe it just being a very clear visual example of being an older man. I have no idea, again, just psycho self-analyzing here, trying to get to the bottom of it, but I don't know why I'm bald, so sorry for not having the answer there, but I can't answer them all. I suppose this was asking about my fashion style and not about my baldness. Bald is not a fashion style, Cliff. But yes, I enjoy a little tiny bit of accessorizing, again, just to kind of get across the point that I'm gay. Oh, I didn't talk about that. That's all you need to know. That's also certainly for a reason. I've noticed that several times whenever we have posted tiny little bits or snippets of me, anytime Jillian has shared a selfie or a little video or anything that I've done, people sometimes react surprised because they say, "I didn't imagine Cliff would like this. I didn't imagine that Cliff would look like this." And so I'm really happy to be making this video because those comments always surprise me. I guess just what people kind of have as their internal image of what I might look like based on the tiny bits you hear from Jillian or the others about how I act or look. So I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting. People saying, "I'm really surprised Cliff would like this necklace. I'm really surprised Cliff would wear this earring." But yeah, I don't mind an accessory or two. I don't particularly have favorite social media accounts or creators. I don't spend a ton of time on social media. It doesn't appeal to me greatly. I think I said online before that I don't really get social media. And someone retorted that a 35-year-old man would absolutely understand. I understand how it works. I can indeed scroll with my finger. I just don't really... It's not something I'd like to do, is spend my time scrolling on TikTok. It's certainly something the others enjoy to do, so I will leave that to them. There are plenty of TikTok scrolling hours in the week, but I don't really have social media followers or people that I follow. I do watch Ian Bruce's little YouTube videos of behind the scenes. That is the only real social media that I keep up with, are the musical artists that I follow, seeing when they're touring or when they're dropping new music. So yes, Steam Power Giraffe and Ian Bruce are pretty much the only people that I really care to keep up with on social media. So I guess that's also something that is kind of unique to me. I think everyone else in the system definitely has a long list of people you can tell. They can tell you that they enjoy following, and I'm sorry that I'm kind of boring in that way. Before I scoot along to the Q&A questions, I just realized that I never touched on the glasses. The glasses, again, are just an internal thing. These don't have any prescription. We do have a very, very, very strong prescription. I think Jillian's mentioned several times. We are almost legally blind, but we wear contact lenses. Our actual glasses, first of all, they're very expensive. So to buy different pairs of glasses just for fashion, if I got them all with my prescription, it would be many hundreds of dollars instead of just these cheapo ones that we can wear over our contact lenses. So we do wear glasses in real life, but I just put these on. They just make me feel more comfortable. Having glasses on is something that always has kind of felt like a little bit of a mask or a little bit of a something to hide behind. I know that Jillian in school, especially in middle school, she's always had this thought and this kind of strange phenomenon where when she wears her glasses, she feels like she can't express her face as much, or even that she doesn't have to because it almost hides her face. It definitely feels like a little bit of a shield, a little bit of a coping mechanism, which again, I don't need as an apparently normal part. I don't feel any of those insecurities or issues, but I'm again psychoanalyzing, trying to figure out what's with the glasses. Maybe it's just the way I look inside, and so it's like it's just something I like to throw on, but it's also, I find, my voice is quite similar to Jillian's, and depending on what we're talking about, it can be quite hard to tell the difference between us. So I find just kind of throwing on a small visual helps, because I'm awkward as all hell, and I'm certainly not the type to announce myself and tell anyone that I'm out or around, especially co-conscious. It just feels very against our nature, and it's just not something I'm necessarily comfortable with yet. So I don't know, the glasses are just an easy, not so subtle hint, I guess. But these are not prescription. It's not like different system members within our brain have different eyeglass prescriptions. I have heard that can be a thing. Not sure about the science on that. We'll look into it yourself. I'm not going to confirm or deny. I do have these really, really excellent specs that we picked up. Again, they don't have prescription, but I just adore these. These are like the ones that I wear inside. We looked everywhere for them. We saw them once online, didn't screenshot or bookmark it, and then we spent actual months looking and looking and looking and looking, trying to find these exact glasses. They look not good on our actual physical face, and it's kind of a crime. But we still have them, and I still like them because they do look just like mine. But do you guys want to see? It's just, I look like I'm about to like, it kind of does increase the Drag Race contestant, you know, confessional room look, but I just feel like it drowns me out too much. I look like I'm about to go fly an airplane or something. Do you have any crafts you like to do, like wood carving or something? Jillian replied, "This is so funny. He definitely gives wood carving or something energy." I do not. I did go over that. I'm boring and don't have many interests, but thank you, I think. From the pity scene, has CLIFFE helped a lot with system conflicts? I mentioned how I interact with Jillian a lot on the inside every day. And I mentioned how we kind of have almost like a domino list of kind of alters that care for other alters a bit. I do step in and do kind of overall caretaking and protection for everyone. I'm trying to think about how to word this. It's like if Jillian and I are like chair and co-chair. So I would usually chat with her, but I definitely have come in between her and Jarek at times. Definitely I've brought Jillian to Flora when she has needed a different type of caretaking and protection as well. So I have the ability to communicate with and move around many different parts of her inner world. I have the most access to everything, the entire like web of things up here. So not to pat myself on the back too much, but I would say so. I definitely would say I'm the primary person to help with conflicts, if not maybe Flora second. From Punk Teletubby, what is CLIFFE's favorite sci-fi show or movie? We just watched Interstellar, which was fantastic. We also have watched a lot of Star Trek: The Next Generation. That is my absolute favorite show. It's also, God, when we thought we were a system of 5, we would say it was the only thing that all of us liked. And we've had splits and discoveries and all kinds of since then, so I think we're around 10-ish now. Again, fragments and things that just aren't interesting or things that you need to know about necessarily, but yeah, definitely Star Trek over Interstellar. I still need to watch a lot of the other Star Trek series, but TNG definitely has a very, very, very warm place in my heart, obviously. Kerosene Skies asks, does it ever feel extremely strange to not be bald in the host body? And more seriously, does it ever feel strange to not just be a gay man, but instead a group of all of you together with your various identities? I definitely understand my role as a part. I definitely don't feel like someone who thought that I was the only one. And that I didn't have DID at all or anything. I definitely didn't feel like I had ever had that much real agency over this life. I don't really have a huge desire to kind of forge my own path and live my own life and make my own friends externally beyond what we already have going. I would like to interact with the friends we have. I don't necessarily feel the need to like date or anything. Stevie and I don't think we've ever labeled what kind of relationship we have, but it's definitely more than a friendly one, and that is extremely wonderful and fulfilling, and that is definitely what helps all of us overall. I think I'm rambling, but basically the main thing I think I'm trying to say is that I'm very aware that I am a part of a whole. I very much feel like a part of a whole, rather than a whole just independent human being that feels like I should have my own life and friends. So no, I'm quite content. I feel very, very good, very happy. I feel extremely fulfilled by the role that I have in helping Jill and being there and interacting every day and every night. I feel actually extremely fulfilled by that, genuinely. And my queer identity also feels very fulfilled and recognized in my life. So yeah, don't worry about that. I feel great. Does it feel weird not to be bald as well, was the other part of the question, which I think is really funny. Not funny bad, but I think I'm just so used to being on the inside that being on the outside feels very, very strange at all. It feels strange to be short. All of it feels strange. It feels strange to have an AFAB body. It feels strange to have a lot of things. So I guess yes and no. I guess it feels strange all around, and the hair isn't particularly the weirdest thing about it, because this body, it has had very short buzzed hair in the past, but it's never been bald, so I guess it's not a feeling that we tangibly have muscle memory of. Because we don't have muscle memory of feeling our head be bald like that for a long time, I think that's why it just feels like this is the normal way for this body to be, but it feels like maybe I shouldn't be in it. Magical, is Cliff stuck in one age and will be 35 forever, or will that change? Do y'all see him as more of a mentor or a friend? I'm not sure about how others see me internally. Again, I do feel like I kind of have a bit of a fatherly mentor. Maybe not fatherly, but yeah, mentor I think is a good word. Am I stuck at 35 or am I going to age? I think that all depends on how things go with our healing. You know, we already have been starting to feel a bit more grounded and present, and Jillian has already been feeling more kind of present in this year, at her age. Sorry if this is all extremely confusing, but trying to figure out if I'm going to age. I think it depends on Jillian and her progress in healing, and if she still needs someone who feels older and wiser to look up to. I think if, because she recently had a small integration with a part that hasn't been online, that we weren't even aware of. A part came out of dormancy, was discovered, and then very quickly began the fusion process. We'll probably chat about that in another video, but she's been feeling very different and very new since then, almost like a Jillian 2.0. And so I wonder if things like that continue to happen. Because she's been feeling a lot more self-assured, she's been living a lot more of a routine, daily, healthy, structured life that's less kind of at the beck and call of mental illness and dissociation. We've been working together to be a lot more productive. We have a really wonderful daily routine and schedule that's been working really amazingly, and it almost felt like we were never going to get here. So now that we are kind of in this much more functioning, productive, kind of being gotten together a bit era of our life, I wonder if she's gonna need me anymore. That's a bit existential. Or I'm maybe just if she will need me to be necessarily that age, or maybe I'll just stay that age because it's the way I formed. I have no idea if it will tick up with the years or if our body will catch up to it. I have no idea if when we age up past 35, if I will even still be around, if it will leave me in the dust and then I'll be younger than the body actually is. I have no idea. We're just gonna see. I think it all has to do with therapy, healing, progress, and Jillian as well, especially because a lot of what we do is to protect the host and just what we all want as a whole, our life, which Jillian spearheads a lot. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna leave the questions there because this video has been god long. Oh my god, it's already 45 more seconds. I'm gonna wrap this up very, very quickly. Thank you. This has been nerve-wracking and strange and interesting and wonderful and exciting and all many, many things wrapped into one. So thank you for sitting through this and watching me stumble. I have no idea if I'm going to be present much online. I think this is more so just for the Meet the Altar series. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how things roll out with this. I can feel Jillian creeping in a little bit more now. I think it's time for me to go. But, girly pop. Yeah, we gotta go. Ooh, a switch is occurring. Oh my god, a switch is occurring. This is not how I wanted the video to end. I'm gonna have to pick something else for the thumbnail because he's gone. Okay. Well, I love you. That's so annoying. Ew, I'm bald. Okay, I love you. That's not how I wanted the video to end. Cliff. I guess it's fine. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect. I guess I can say goodbye. You know me. This is my channel. I'm in the closet like Drew Monson. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, well, goodbye. I love you. I'm so bald. Okay, bye.